According to the Holy Scriptures, Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High, is set to bring immortality to the nation of Israel, the elect, via establishing the tabernacle of David. As we talk about the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, he is coming to take down this current world ruled by Esau, Edom, and establish a righteous kingdom, which is synonymous with the throne of David. That's scriptural, which is a government that's going to run this world in righteousness.
But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
A transfer of rulership is coming, and the kingdom of heaven will be on earth. Righteousness will be spread throughout the whole four corners of the earth. Wickedness will be put down.
But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
I mean, the ultimate destruction will come from the ultimate God, Yahweh Shai, okay? Underneath his father, of course. Okay, he's going to be the main one to destroy Esau and his society, okay? But we're going to have a hand in it too, as gods. When I say we, I mean the elect of Yahweh Shai, who is coming to gather, okay?
In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them.
The house of David will be as God. That word God is Elohim. We're going to go back to our original estate. The scriptures say in 1 John, the 3rd chapter, that we're going to be just like Yahweh Shai when he returns. The elect are going to be beamed up and changed according to the book of 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter. Death will be no more. And Esau knows that, and that's the blessing that comes with the birthright given unto Jacob, of that land that was promised to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Also the blessing of the firstborn was put on Jacob, because ultimately Jacob was first in spirit. So the hope of the elect is that we receive immortality.
All right, Shalom. All right, first and foremost, we would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessing salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right, what we want to get into today, is just to go into the events, transpired yesterday, with the ballistic missile, strike from Iran, hitting, all right, the land of Israel, and just want to go into, what it means, and just seeing the reaction of the day, speculate, what's next, okay? Because as we know, as the scriptures say, there's been the theme, for about the last year, the least of the flock, all right, drawing them out, okay, and the least of the flock being those small hats, okay, because the flock, is ultimately the nation of Edom in their scripture, all right, but of that flock of Esau, Edom, the state of Israel, was the last to be established as a state, after all those other, the EU nations and, America, those small hats, in 1948, was the last, all right, to be established as a state, okay, which pretty much they're nothing but an Edomite colony, in Western Asia, or what they would call the Middle East, okay? So we're seeing them constantly provoke war. All right, now let's go here, because one thing, because we know in part, prophesy in part, and there's things, happen, and as we follow these things, we recognize patterns, so we're gonna go into, some of those things. We got a few videos to play, kind of go into it, and we'll just build on that. This is Matthew 24:1. It says, and Yahweh Shah went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him and to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahweh Shah said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left one stone upon another, there shall not be thrown down. All right, going to 70 AD, when the temple was destroyed. Now, when you get to verse 3, he's going into, all right, the end times, all right, that we will be in before his return. Okay. And it says, and he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And the world is speaking of this age. Okay, because right now we live in the age of Esau, Edom, and he's running it through this beast system prophesied in the scriptures, man. Okay, as he will come back, to deceive the nations, establish, this new Rome in the earth. Okay, with pretty much America being the centerpiece. All right, and what we're seeing now, all right, is these devils, getting ready to shift, okay, to a new order. All right, a new world order where America is not the centerpiece anymore. All right, and these devils are trying to go beyond their rulership that's prescribed for them in the scriptures. Okay, so in the midst of these devils, trying to extend, all right, their rulership, their blessing, okay, through, as it said, he will live by the sword. We're seeing war being prepared, which is going to end this man's kingdom. They're going to usher in Yahweh Shah, and put an ultimate end to this man's kingdom. Okay, so Yahweh Shah, he's going into the things that will be happening, man. All right. So you go to verse 4, it says, and Yahweh Shah answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. And you look at the internet, especially on YouTube and social media. All right, what do you have, that's popular? Everyone wants to be an influencer. Everyone wants to, be, this leader, this great leader with the answers. Okay, they got it all figured out. That's the thing, especially amongst Jake. Okay, these certain, Israelite camps, you got all type of podcasts, content creator deals, and all these different things, and they project themselves as being, anointed and having the way. Okay, so that's the atmosphere we see, on the internet. And it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay, and we won't put emphasis on the end is not yet, because rumors, go into circulating stories. And when we see, certain things happen, certain conflicts, certain, ground invasions, air strikes, ballistic missile strikes, and and we see particular things happening, around these conflicts. What do you have? Rumors. This nation is about to do this. This nation is about to do that. There's speculations about this, speculation about that. Okay, and that's been the talk for years now. Okay, but Yahweh Shah said the end is not yet, because there's more things to unfold. Okay, and like I say, when we follow these things, for a while, all right, the short time I've been following, geopolitics, you pick up on certain patterns, certain verbiage, that they'll say in the press conference to let that they're not trying to escalate, So I want to go here because, one thing about, Western media, they always downplay, um, especially when it comes to Iran. Now Iran, is being conservative. They're showing restraint. They could do way more and what they're doing, but this all the timing of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. The Lord hasn't put that spirit on them yet to go all out, to be like those Carmanians, coming forth with great strength. As you read in second Ezra, the 15th chapter. Now, I want to all right, let's get this. Now you have the West, saying that no missiles hit. And I'm gonna turn the sound down. All right, but this is footage, from their airstrike. And you will have, Western media, saying that, no weapons, okay. No missiles hit, 90% was shot down and all this. But Western media, when they downplay the strike, whenever there's a strike, okay, against these small hats in their region, the way that they react in the media shows you that either they want to escalate or de-escalate. So whenever they get to pushing, that the attack was ineffective and was a failure, the defense systems, thwarted, absorbed, the majority of the missiles, they're downplaying it because they don't want to really escalate. They might respond, the small heads might respond, but it ain't gonna be nothing extravagant. And when they respond, they're gonna blow it up, like 2/3 of Iran is now missing off the map. They're gonna shoot a few drones, maybe a missile or two, and they're gonna make it seem like half Iran doesn't exist anymore. In Western media, they're gonna blow it way out of proportion. All right, they're gonna inflate it. Okay. But whenever something happens to them, remember these small hats own the media. Okay. So they be having, a major delusion, okay, of what's really going on, with the narrative of this war. Okay. So I want to just play the video to show you, all right, as we can see these projectiles coming in, okay, that most of them are hidden. Now the damage, all right, that's something that we're not going to know, okay, because Iran doesn't have access to satellites, like, Russia and Europe and, China, okay, and Western nations, to get those images of the damage, okay. But as we can see, majority of these missiles, okay, are hidden, okay. Every now and then, like you just seen one guy intercepted, but they were like 1 out of 10. Okay. So this is footage. All right. And like I say, this is still a light strike package by Iran. Some sources say 180, some say over 200. Okay. Well, this is a light strike package. Okay. And they could do this, for days on days at this same pace. Okay. And they can increase the volume of it. You see? I think there was an air base, a runway that was hit. All right. But as you can see, they can touch Tel Aviv with no problem. They can touch, all right, Jerusalem with no problem. They can touch anywhere in Israel with no problem. All right. And their Iron Dome, all right, showed to be a failure. Okay. And this is why this place is known as the land of all villages, man. Okay. So you had, a lot of those Arabs, okay, those Islamic nations, celebrate, Jordan, Syria, Iraq, in the festive spirit as these things were happening. And they're just rising up against the beast, and it's going to gradually, get worse. Now, that was it on that. Let's go here. All right, let's get this in Isaiah, the 9th chapter. I got a couple more videos I want to get into. This is Isaiah 9. All right, because ultimately what we're going to see, is this back and forth. Okay, is going to lead, to a nuclear exchange. But it's going to be a build up to that. All right. And like I say, the way that, these people, downplayed, the Iranian strike, they don't want to escalate. They're going to respond, just to say they responded. Okay. But they really, all right, are not going to want to escalate because, Iran shows them their capabilities. All right. And it puts them on their mind. Okay. Because April 7th, they launched way more, projectiles with drones and missiles, and only like 16 got through. Okay. This time they launched fewer, ordinances. Okay. Or what you say with missiles. All right. But a way more volume got through. So it's a psychological thing at play as well. All right. And let's get this in Isaiah, and then we got a few more video. This Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. Okay, and it says, "For unto us a child is born." Oh, no, verse 7. No, verse 5. So like Isaiah 9 and 5 said, "For every battle of the warriors will confuse noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." Okay, so we're seeing a glimpse of what World War III is going to be about. It's going to be a lot of missile play. Okay, it's going to be conventional missiles starting out, but then they're going to begin to put nuclear warheads on those projectiles, man. Okay, because you can put the warhead of your liking, all right, on the projectile. Okay, so right now we're just seeing conventional warheads, okay, on these projectiles. All right, but as this thing continues to spiral out of control and gradually gets worse and worse and worse, all right, they're going to put those nuclear warheads on those projectiles, man. Okay, so we're just seeing a glimpse of what's to come. All right, missiles, filling the sky. Okay, and ultimately, the most of the missiles in the earth are going to march their way to America, man. Okay, now let's go here. I got this video. Let's go here. All right. So this is a ex US Ranger. All right, Special Forces. I forgot his name. I just started listening to him yesterday. But yeah, he's gonna go into what happened. Give his expert analysis on it, and we'll chime in and go from there. All right. So let's let this play a little bit.
I first saw it on Bricks News, then immediately went to Telegram channels, both Israeli and resistance channels, and started seeing the footage come through. It was instantly verifiable by what happened. There was a couple players that wanted to say that there was no missile strikes or missile attacks. Like when I went on to Al Jazeera earlier to talk about this a couple hours ago, my segment was cut short because I was saying that there was a systemic failure within the Iron Dome, not necessarily because the AI control system failed, or it looked more like they ran out of ordnance, and they really didn't like that.
So yeah, his name is Greg Stoker. All right, ex-US Army Ranger. All right, Special Forces. So he said that in an interview with Al Jazeera, and he went to speaking on about how the Iron Dome, failed, and they cut him off. And that's the gag order that they got in Western media when you go to speak, against the small hats or the West in general, but especially small hats, man. Because the Iron Dome, it showed failure. Okay, see, this is not about Iran just turning, all right, Tel Aviv into a parking lot. All right, they were just showing that we can do that. Okay, remember, the Iran is showing restraint. Russia is showing restraint. They don't want to go to war. See, these nations, we think of it, we know, like, let's get it. because we understand, we look at the hope we got. Okay, those nations, they're thinking practical. They're not thinking about prophecy, and especially our good news is not their good news. Okay, so they're thinking practical, and ultimately they're still preparing themselves, man, when it comes to Russia and Iran. All right, it says in Ezekiel 38, all right, be prepared for thee and thyself, speaking to Russia. All right, well, Russia is constantly being prepared, and they preparing these other nations, man, because every day that they don't go to war is a day that they can prepare for war. Okay, so every day that they don't go to war is another day that they can prepare for war. All right, so preparations are being made for war. So this is why they're not just going crazy on the small hats. All right, they can do them small hats bad. Them small hats is defenseless against Iran's strike packages, man. And this is very light what Iran is doing. Very light. Okay, they can do that times 200 for days on days. You see? So let's let this play some more.
So the Iran says 80% got through. Seems really high. There's no way to verify that. Israel say they intercepted like 95% of it. That's also way too high based off like the 100 to 200 missile strike package that they sent. So you probably can't play footage on YouTube as we were talking about before this because censorship. But the footage shows, if you see it, that shows Israeli air defenses active and successfully intercepting missiles, just not enough of them fast enough. This is called saturation or flooding the zone. You flood the airspace with so many ordnance points that it is difficult. Then the defenses fail to intercept incoming targets. So that's saturation when they cannot intercept the amount of targets that are coming in. And then there's depletion, which there are no longer means of intercepting incoming targets. That's when you run out of munitions or the Iron Dome itself, the battery itself starts encountering malfunctions. So it's either one of the two or a combination of the two things happens. So basically how an Iron Dome system works, a lot of your listeners will probably know it. It's a radar, picks up the incoming ordnance, which sends the data to a control system, which is an AI program that determines which ordnance is going where, which rockets are they going to let pass because they're going to impact in like an empty area, so they don't need to waste an intercept on them. And then it feeds into the Iron Dome battery that shoots it out. So was it saturation or depletion? We don't know. The performative effect is that a lot of at least 30 that I've been able to determine got through. Some impacted in empty areas. We saw one impact near like the side of a road, and then we've seen them hit hard sites inside Tel Aviv proper. There's a gag order on Israeli media. We're not going to have any idea of casualties. We're not going to have any idea of damages, just like how they have a gag order on their casualties in Gaza and northern Lebanon and all their like vehicle losses and stuff like that. So for a while, we're not going to hear anything. But the next phase of this conflict will be determined by Iran's ability to both sustain this type of attack repeatedly, its allies' ability to exploit it, like the axis of resistance, and Israel's hesitation or lack of hesitation to escalate up to and including nuclear weapons, which they officially don't have. So U.S. intervention was always a part of the plan when and if possible, but there are limits to the U.S. Israeli military power. The question is Iran and its allies more limited? But this strike is incredibly significant, and there's so much we can talk about going forward. So
yeah, there certainly is. Well, perhaps talk about where Iran, what we do know, where they hit, because one of the most significant pieces of footage was there were some videos of Palestinians cheering this on, and there were also just videos that showed many different angles of the Nevada Air Base being hit.
the first video we saw were people hiding on the side of a berm, which is like a hill, and we saw rockets not getting intercepted, impacting in the base. And unless you can get a camera on site looking into the base, we're not going to know what they hit. There's rumors that they hit a runway. That can be repaired quickly. Did they hit warehouses? Like, we don't know what hard sides they hit yet. They can't keep that secret forever, but that's just not something we're going to know tonight because they're in a complete media operational security blackout because this is embarrassing for them. And it's also incredibly demoralizing because the Iron Dome is like the magic system, the magic cloak that defends Israel and gives everybody peace of mind. And if it can be penetrated, even if there weren't a lot of casualties, even if there weren't a lot of damage, this is more significant than the April attack where they shot more ordnance, more got intercepted, and tonight they shot less ordnance and way more got through. So are they using different munitions? Do they have capabilities that Israel doesn't know about? There's a lot of unanswered questions, and that's highly uncomfortable. So hence media blackout.
Yeah, and I want to show, you mentioned embarrassment for Israel, and I wanted to show, wow, actually, the post on X.
Yeah, I want y'all to check your boy out. All right, old Uncle BB. You know, Monday, he was talking all that tough talk. I want y'all to check your guy out, man. See how they got y'all uncle out here, man. Hold on. He finna go into it. Post this. Post these. Oh. So yeah, I'm gonna let this play. All right, we'll check out Uncle BB. When all right, when those missiles start dropping.
Of Netanyahu going to his bunker was taken down. But I'll show you another example of this because I think it's important to show that this was very unexpected. I don't believe that Israel really knew that this was going to happen. And here is the footage of Netanyahu literally running to his bunker.
My husband had no idea how we went from paying $156 a month to $29 a month for car insurance.
It's kind of undignified for a world leader, to be honest.
Yeah. 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 So there he is, literally running to the bunker because that this was going to happen. And here is the footage of Netanyahu literally running to his bunker.
It's kind of undignified for a world leader, to be honest.
Yeah. 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 So there he is, literally running to the bunker because, and
Yeah, so this nigga talking all that tough talk, man. All right. Hell no, and he might well come out that suit because eventually you're gonna need a track suit and some Air Max. Okay, because it's just getting started, man. When the Lord really put the spirit, because these small hats gonna push these nations to the point to where they just gonna say fuck it. Okay, and they gonna wild out on them small hats, man. All right, we're talking all that tough shit Monday. Okay, this bitch ass running, man, in that suit. Okay, you see how that nigga hit that corner? Okay, so at the end of the day, these small hats, the way they do warfare is very cowardly. Okay, extremely cowardly, man. All right, and when these nations really, bring it to them, they gonna fold. Okay, so let's go from there. Well, yeah, I thought they were interesting. I said not tough ass BB, not old dog, not old dog himself. All right, on the good foot. Okay, like I say, you might as well get you some track suits, goddamn Air Max, man. Okay, because even matter of fact, let me get some scriptures, man. I'll just read. This is Ezekiel 38:10. It said, "Thus said the Lord power, it shall come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought." And this is addressing Magog, all right, which it was Putin that told Netanyahu to get his ass out of Tel Aviv, because Putin, remember, he's a chief prince over those nations, okay? So Putin pretty much gave the green light for Iran to do their strike, okay? And he told Netanyahu, look, if you do a ground invasion in Lebanon, you need to carry your ass out of Tel Aviv, man. Okay? And a few hours later, all right, we see what happened. Okay? So eventually, because what we're seeing is Russia is getting the evil eye towards these small hats. Okay? And Russia is going to begin to equip Iran more and more. They're going to and Iran is going to equip Hezbollah more and more. Russia is speaking of giving, the Houthi rebels supersonic missiles. Okay, so just as you jump up to verse 7, all right, it says, "Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them." So Russia is prepping itself. Okay, and Russia is becoming a guard, more and more to these other nations. So every day that they avoid war is another day that they're preparing for war. Okay, you look at it like they dragging their feet. No, they in preparation phase. All these things that we seeing is preparation for war. These small hats are trying to get into southern Lebanon and are in occupy southern Lebanon just so they can put missile defense systems up because they don't know what Hezbollah got over there. Okay, they have an idea. Everybody really just speculate what the other person got. No one's gonna know who got what until it really go down. And see, when war starts, there are certain preparations. If you ain't got it already in place, you're not gonna be able to get it set up. Okay, so those small hats, all right, that's why they're just clearing out infrastructure. Okay, you see, when you go into the Geneva Convention, certain international laws dealing with war, you're not supposed to, destroy churches, residential, all right, schools, and certain essential public services infrastructure. Okay, but the loophole is those small hats will get on TV and say, "Well, look, we know Hezbollah is hiding missiles in your living room," and when they say that, that makes residential areas, okay, part of the war. Okay, they make churches and mosque and all these things a part of the war when they say, okay, this terrorist group is hiding weapons here. Okay, so now that gives them a green light to destroy residential and public, all right, essential infrastructure. Okay, under the allegations of there's weapons in those places. Those are storehouses now for weapons. Now they become part of the war, and they can just flatten out, okay, whole neighborhoods and towns and cities. They can just strike them to death. They can just airstrike them to death. Okay, and all they're doing is flattening that land, all right, to occupy it, and they want to bring in military hardware. So when they really get at Iran, okay, they know Hezbollah gonna come full throttle from the north. Okay, so what you have with these nations is trying to posture themselves in position, to be, in the best position for when the war goes down, when the gloves are off on every side. Okay, every day that goes by, don't you think Iran is getting ready? Russia is getting ready. Okay, China, all these nations, even nations that you don't hear talking about, being talked about in the news, they're getting ready, they're getting prepared. Okay, they're not watching. Okay, the NFL. Okay, they don't give a damn about Diddy. All right, they're getting prepared day for day. Okay, so they're pretty much buying time. All right, as they get prepared, because they know one thing, man. All right, this Eastern Alliance of Nations under Russia, they know, okay, that when they go, they got to go with it, because they know that them small hats in America got some shit over there, man. Okay, so they know when they go, they gonna have to come with it. Okay, it says, "And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and have neither bars nor gates." Okay, and as you've seen on the footage, you know, Israel, the Iron Dome, okay, is insufficient. And remember, those are small strike packages, man. You gotta understand, because that guy went into it, but I just speak on it. I'm gonna queue up another video. So those missile defense systems, all right, once they're depleted of projectiles that they can shoot, it takes 20 minutes. All right, you gotta get a crane, all right, to reload them. Okay, now what we have to understand, those hypersonic missiles only take between 11 and 13 minutes to get from Iran, okay, to Israel. So if they deplete those air defense systems, their Iron Dome, once they deplete it, that means they have a 20-minute window, okay, to send as many missiles as possible that are going to be untouched. Okay, and remember, they can send, all right, 100 every minute, 100 plus every minute. So in 13 minutes, you can get 1,400 missiles that are going to come in untouched behind that first wave that depleted, all right, the missile defense system. Okay, and you gotta think they thinking about this, man. Okay, and it's a mind game. Iran just keeping them at bay, and see, yes, they're killing. All right, which I want to get into that too. Matter of fact, I'm glad I said that. Yes, they're killing certain of the leadership. Okay, because this is the small hats in the West military doctrine. It's called a decapitation strategy. Okay, so when you go into it, what it means, this is why we've been seeing a lot of leaders of the small hats, being put to death. All right, because you got what you call a decapitation strategy. Okay, and this is what those small hats in the West, tries. This is their strategy against, Iran, Hezbollah, you know. But when you go here, it says decapitation is a military strategy that involves targeting and removing the leadership of a hostile group or government. The goal is to paralyze or destroy the group by removing its command and control. Okay? So this is the military doctrine of the small hats, and that's why they keep, killing, certain leaders, okay, of Hezbollah, and Iran. Okay? But what's happening is you can do this. That's cool. It's cute. And you can put their picture on the news. All right. You killed, such and such, and this general corporal and this brigadier, a lieutenant and this and that. But guess what? You still are not affecting, okay, the battlefield outcome. You still haven't stopped their ability, okay, to touch Israel. Okay, because it could be way worse. So all this killing of these leaders is cute. It look good on the news. Okay, you can boast in it. Okay, but guess what? Them niggas already Iran and Hezbollah, they know when they get in those leadership positions, they can die any day. They not surprised by that. Okay, and they got all them niggas look alike. All right, one of them niggas die. All right, you call Raheem, you the general now. Okay, and they get to it. The one monkey don't stop no show. Okay, they got thousands of men, tens of thousands of men that can play these particular roles, man. Because those militaries are all battle hardened, man, through continual war over there since 2001. Okay, so there's a whole generation of those men that are built and conditioned for this, man. You see? So at the end of the day, like I say, yeah, it's cute. They kill some leaders, and but this ain't all right. Where you get emotional over a couple leaders dying, and you risk the whole military strategy because you want to prove a point. Iran ain't got nothing to prove to the internet. Okay, they in this for real. Okay, they ain't got nothing to prove to the internet. When it's time, they gonna go. When it's Russia time, they gonna go. Okay, so let's go here. I got one more video I want to get into. My guy, Scott Ritter. Okay. All right. So let's let this play for a minute.
About the Iranian missile attack today on Israel. What did it consist of? What was struck down? What got through? What damage, if any, did it do?
Well, I can't say we know anything other than the Iranians fired a significant number of missiles, the majority of which appeared to strike the ground. Whether or not they struck the ground where they intended to strike is unknowable until the Iranians tell us what their objectives were and what their battle damage assessment. I would imagine that if these missiles did strike their intended targets, Israel will not be quick to confirm that, because the last thing you want to do when you're on the receiving end of missiles is confirm the accuracy of the missiles. Iran doesn't have a sophisticated, space-based reconnaissance capability to take immediate battle damage assessments. So even the Iranians will be, guessing to some extent. It appears, however, that a significant number of missiles were targeted at Nevatim Air Base outside of Beersheba. This is one of Israel's most important air bases. It's where the F-35 fighters are based out of, along with Netanyahu's Air Force One and some other critical air assets. The videotape of this attack shows what appear to be hypersonic missiles, coming in and in significant quantity, and hitting what they're, hitting something on the ground. Some of them may have been intercepted, but not all of them. This appears to be part of the Iranian strategy of saturation attacks. If you take a look at the quantity of the missiles being fired, it simply overwhelmed Israel's air defense systems. The Iranians also appear to have made use of the more sophisticated missiles, the hypersonic Fatah 2. They fired to take out the Arrow 2 and Arrow 3 surface-to-air missile or anti-missile defense shields. I've been looking at some videos that look as though the Iranians were deploying sophisticated warheads that have multiple warheads and decoys and accelerating warheads. So they used a variety of means. Back in April when we talked about this, I said, look, the Iranians led off with old stuff. It was just basically to exhaust the Israelis, exhaust the air defense, and then they finished with a dozen or so of the good stuff, and all of those hit their target. And at the time, I said this was Iran putting a marker on the table, saying the next time you're just going to get the good stuff. Well, this was the next time Israel got the good stuff, and what we saw here is that Israel is defenseless, utterly. You may shoot down 10% of the incoming missiles, but the bottom line is Iran saturated Israel's missile defense shield, and it wasn't just Israel's. Israel had the assistance of the United States Navy, and American THAAD systems. The Jordanians were actively involved, bragging about how they shot down one or two missiles. So you basically had the world's densest, most sophisticated ballistic missile shield being exposed as utterly useless. And this is a signal in and of itself to the Israelis, because they are talking about retaliation. And if Israel retaliates in a significant way, Iran has already reloaded all 180 plus launchers that were involved in the first one. They have others in reserve. Remember, right now, Iran is also holding a loaded pistol against the head of the United States, letting the United States know that if they get involved in any offensive action against Israel, Al-Udeid Air Base in Qatar will be destroyed, just like Nevatim was. There's no defense against it. Al-Assad Air Base in Iraq will be destroyed, just like Nevatim was. There's no defense against it. And Iran may strike, the American naval base in Bahrain, the home of the Fifth Fleet. This was a tremendous display of capability by Iran, one that Israel and the United States would do well to reflect on before undertaking any precipitous moves.
Are the hypersonic missiles the ones that are impossible to stop?
Well, I wouldn't say impossible, because technology being what it is, you always might be able to find a solution. I would imagine that if you fired one hypersonic against a defensive capability that was ready to receive it, you might get lucky. But generally speaking, the hypersonics are coming in at a rate of engagement, a rate of closure that's too fast for any radar system today to configure an intercept solution and have the interceptor actually be able to do it. I think what we saw was there were some occasions of the Israelis playing catch up, meaning that they were trying to catch up to the warhead, but they couldn't. It was going too fast. And it appears that the hypersonics that Iran fired just came through the Israeli air sirens didn't even go off, so they didn't even detect it. That's how fast they were going. That's how quick their closure speed was.
Do the Israelis have hypersonics?
No, these.
And that was Scott Ritter, ex-U.S. weapons inspector. He's an expert, so he understands the missile defense system, the hypersonic projectiles. He goes into these things, okay? And what we're going to see, from just seeing the feedback, and the propaganda that's pushed by the West, downplaying, the missile strike of Iran, you're going to see a very limited, you probably be speculating you're going to see a very limited response by Israel. And the fact that they ain't responding today lets you know that they got something on their mind. Okay, now they're going to wild out. They're going to, do, their cow shit, probably blow up some more phones, or, assassinate, some more leaders, and, do something, to have political clout. All right. But they're not going to do, all right, they're not going to directly strike Iran, okay, with anything to escalate, okay? And the way that they're talking. Now, could be wrong. They could go hard and heavy. We don't know. But either way, it works in our favor. All right, however it go, it works in our favor. We don't give a damn. If these nations go back and forth, with each other, okay, we just have front row seats. Okay, these nations pummel each other, man. And ultimately, Howard Shah is going to come in and clear the board. Okay, matter of fact, I ended with that in Haggai. Okay, and this is what these things are leading up to. You get this in the book of Haggai, chapter 2, verse 22. Okay, this is Haggai 2 and 22, and it says, "And I will overthrow the throne of kingdoms, and I will destroy the strength of the kingdoms of the heathen. Okay, and what are these heathen strength? They're military. Because you can have resources, but if you don't have a military, okay, to protect those resources, okay, those are not your resources. That's why America, the West has been able to bully the resources of the earth through the strength of their military. Okay, so Yahweh Shai is coming to overthrow the thrones of kingdoms and destroy the strength of kingdoms of the heathen, which are their militaries, and I will overthrow the chariots and those that ride in them. Okay, mainly these fighter jets. All right, any military vehicle, man. The horses, tanks, and their riders shall come down, every one by the sword of his brother. So they're going to be fighting each other. Okay, as a part of the Lord, destroying the strength of the heathen. They're going to go with it with each other. And ultimately, Yahweh Shai is going to come in and just clear the board. Okay, but we're going to see them, continue to obliterate each other. Okay, until the time Yahweh Shai appears and just, wipes the floor with all these heathens, man. Okay, so yeah, just we'll keep up with it, see how it play out, but don't expect, a nuclear war this weekend. Okay, the end is not yet, so you're gonna, see, maybe a limited response from those small hats, and and they probably gonna pull some more gimmicks, and Western media gonna hype it up like they just, just dominating, but you'll never hear about their losses, man. All right, so yeah, we'll continue to watch these things, Lord will, you brothers. All right, and you sisters edified. So next time we say Shalom, Korn Mashallah, Bob, soon, Shalom.